Hey guys, so welcome to our personal finance rant with Brett and Immanuel. Tonight we're going to cover how to make an extra $50 to $500 per week just through doing things online, potentially while you're still in lockdown. There might be a few things where you've got to go out of the house. But yeah, so just some ideas we put together, when we sat down and just thought, right, what can we do? What can we do online? What can we do offline? What are some of your options?
And if you're in the UK, it's £50. Just
Yeah, well, did I say dollars?
You said bucks.
I said bucks. Yeah. Because I deal in Aussie and the UK, a lot of times I say bucks meaning pounds or dollars. It's just my little take on it. Otherwise, I end up saying pounds in Australia and Singapore, and it confuses people. But anyway, yes, $50, £50, and it's £500. But I think I guess to frame this and why we think it's important is it's all good to be looking at the spending side, but there may come a point where you've lost your job totally, maybe benefits and things haven't kicked in yet, and you need to go out there urgently. And obviously, if we're in lockdown, it's very hard to get a normal job. So what are some of the options that you've got that you can actually go about doing and to make that money and fill that gap until potentially you get into another full-time job, start another business, the lockdown stops or whatever. So I think it's really important to understand there is options out there. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, well, listen, there's only so many things you can cut back on. There's only so many things you can make savings on. But there comes a point when you've done all of those things, you need to start looking at what money you're bringing in. So today's about looking at different ways of how you can create some additional income pretty quickly, pretty fast, from small amounts to what I would say quite a considerable amount if you're actually able to put a bit of time and effort into it.
Yeah, and I think some of these will vary from sitting down for an hour and it's guaranteed you'll get paid X amount, through to actually, I know people who this is their entire business and this is all they do and they make really, really good money. But that's not something to get to that level is not something you're just going to do in a week. Yeah. So some of these will take you an hour. Some of these will take you half an hour. Some of these will take you potentially, you'll get income in very quickly, but others ones, if you want to build up substantial income, will take you a bit longer. So, but we'll talk through some of them. So I guess, really, I think the key here is to know where your cash flows are in terms of what have you got coming in, what have you got going out, what's the shortfall you need to make, or what is the goal? And I think when you plan out like that, you can go, right, I need to make £300 per month, or I need to make £100 per month, or it would be good if I could make £200 per month so I can do this or whatever it was, So I think setting that goal is really, really important. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
Yeah, what you said is 100% true. You have to know what money you've got going out, what money you need to get coming in, and what additional income you need to make your lifestyle better. So we're looking at different areas of how you can enhance while you're in lockdown, while you've got time on your hands. So if you're a furloughed worker, you're self-employed and you can't work, what could you be doing with this time right now to re-engineer yourself to earn some additional income on the side, keep your mind occupied, keep yourself motivated and propel yourself forward. So that's what this is about.
Yeah, 100%. Because actually and a lot of these things you'll look at and you go, well, that just seems too hard for me. I don't understand computers. I don't understand online, internet. I don't understand selling. I've never sold before. But actually, a lot of the times when you actually spend the time and you look into it, you don't need to sell. A lot of the times, you've got other tools that are doing the sales for you, or other tools that are doing the fulfillment, so rather than discounting any of these, it's worthwhile at least passing across all of them and seeing which ones you think actually will work to achieve the goal. Because I think, and I mean, if we take the first one, like affiliate programs, now, you know what? A lot of people go, well, I don't know about those. But you know what? Affiliate programs, I've got mates that make hundreds of thousands of pounds a year selling other people's products. They don't even have a product themselves. In fact, all they are, and no disrespect to my mates, they're computer nerds. If they had to speak to somebody on a phone, they struggle. They're social misfits, if you like. And I mean, that sounds derogatory, but they are. They are more akin to sitting in front of a computer, and yet they're making hundreds of thousands selling other people's products. So I guess what is an affiliate program? Well, It's where somebody says, I've created a program, some content. I'm going to sell it for this much retail, but I'm going to give you, let's say, 50% of the proceeds. And so you can use that 50% to go online and market it through websites, a lot of this is already automated and you don't even have to do anything, Have you had any much experience with affiliate programs, mate?
Yeah, I've had a lot of experience with affiliate programs, being in the background that I've been with self-development, education. There's so much around that. There's companies offer that actually make it as easy as possible for you. They create a link for you. All you have to do is market that link, share that link, and anybody that clicks on that link, you get paid. Yep. So there's lots of products and services where, we all have different demographics. We all have different social network and contacts. So there's only so many people each company can get to. So if they can get to more people through you, they pay you for marketing on their behalf. That's how it works. You're just a marketing agent for them and getting paid for every time somebody clicks from your link to it. Yep. At the end of the day, it's a win-win scenario. The company earns something from a new client. You earn something from introducing a new client. And more importantly, the new client gets the product and the benefit from that company. So everybody wins. It's a win-win-win-win scenario.
Yeah. And a lot of times you don't need to do any of the fulfillment. You don't need to do anything apart from, put those links out all around the internet, whether that be, the actual hyperlink or whether that be, a lot of times they give you the marketing materials. They'll give you the emails to send out to lists or wherever you've got, that work for them. So they make it as easy as possible.
Let me put it a different way, because most people understand this. If you go to a restaurant, you go to a theatre, you go to a cinema, you go on holiday, if you enjoy that experience, you tell people about it anyway. The only difference is you don't get paid for sharing that experience. The difference with this is you're getting paid for sharing that experience for somewhere else. So where you would normally recommend a hotel or a restaurant or a holiday, you're getting paid for each time somebody clicks through your link through that recommendation. So you're getting paid for recommending great products and great services and great training.
Yeah, 100%. And look, if you type affiliate programs into Google or whatever, there's hundreds of them going to come up. So, you can research that. You can find something you're interested in. It might be, in healthcare. It might be in, wealth creation. It might be in property. It could be in a whole range. There's affiliate programs everywhere. There's thousands of them. There's even affiliate programs, if you like, comparison sites where you can go to, and you can sign up to one and get access to 1,000 products. It is such a mature market, that side of things. It's so easy to do. Now, yes, you have to go and you have to set it up and do all that. So there is some work behind it, So our next one is, sell your skills. If you've got specific skills on things like Upwork, Fiverr.com, those sort of places. And, look, whatever skills you've got, it's amazing what you can put onto those things. And people will say, yep, I'll pay you. And, you say, right, I want to be $20 an hour or $15 an hour or whatever it is. And, people will pay you to do that. Could be data entry, could be, Excel work, could be creating websites, whatever your skill is. Yeah.
I use Upwork all the time in Fiverr.com. It's a great platform. It allows you to engage people worldwide for any time of the day and produce material very quickly at a very reasonable cost. So it works. I use it for PowerPoints. I use it for Excel. I use it for documentation. I use it for Word. I use it for people that can help me re-engineer different documents. So it's a great way of selling any kind of service that you think a person might need. And if you go on their website and you have a look at all the different products and services that you could potentially use or put your products and services for, I think you'd be quite surprised just how much money you could make from applying yourself there.
Yeah. And I think the amazing thing is, from my own business perspective, we used to have a marketing team of 7 full-time staff, and I paid anywhere from probably 25 grand up to 60 grand in that team. So, maybe 200,000 or 300,000 a year I was paying out in wages and tax and all that sort of stuff. I converted that entire, apart from one staff I've still got, into Upwork, and so now I have, it's actually probably more like 8 or 10 people now because I can niche a lot better and get really skilled people. You know, and if you've got one of those skills, it might be, you know, writing copy for the website. It might be, you know, whatever it is. It could be editing videos. It could be, you know, doing whatever. There's so many skills on there. It's incredible. So, you know, there's a huge opportunity there. Now, you are in a marketplace with lots and lots of competition, and you're competing with other people worldwide. But if you're sitting in the UK, a lot of people are prepared to pay more money for a UK, you know, English-speaking English person living than they are for, say, you know, an Indian or a Vietnamese or a, you know, whatever, you know, in another country. So, you know, you've got an opportunity there, you know, so that's a huge opportunity, I think. Yeah. Turo is an interesting one we were talking about, which I hadn't actually heard of, but so maybe you can cover that, mate.
Yeah, it's something that I've used quite extensively over the last few years, both in the US and now in the UK. It's basically where you can hire a car per day, per week, and get paid for it. So in America, I use it quite a lot. Rather than go to hire companies, I take one of these cars and when I actually need to use it. But in the UK, you can do the same thing now. Lots of people are at home. They don't need the car. They certainly don't need it every day. And you can get paid for somebody to use your car fully insured, all done within an app. You just click on, you register, your car becomes available. People need it for short journeys. They need it for 1 or 2 days. You get paid for doing so. So I think it's a great way of generating some income, especially while your car is sitting at home.
I think, you know, one of my companies is actually, it's right in the sharing economy, and it's you know, it's an education. It does a lot of things like consulting and that. And this whole sharing economy, it is amazing, the growth and the potential with that. You know, I mean, you know, we talk about Uber and we talk about, you know, Grab, we talk about, you know, Turo, all these, there's so many opportunities there. I mean, for this one, yeah, you're going to need a car, which you can put into the pool. And maybe right now with the lockdown, you know, it might not be, you know, you know, there might not be a lot of demand, but coming out of that, potentially there is. And, you know, maybe you're not using a car as much. You know,
well, there will be more demand because less people are going to want to have the financial commitment of a car, but want to have it every now and again when they actually need it. So it's still cheaper than having a taxi or an Uber, and it gives you the benefit of a car at the same time and not all the additional cost that goes with it, with the maintenance and running costs. So this is a growing sector that's going to keep growing. And if you look at what's happening further down the line, there's going to be more and more of this. People are going to have less and less car ownership as we go forward. So
100% on that point. It's less about owning and more about controlling for a period of time that you need it. And effectively, that's what Uber does. You know, you click on the app and you control that car to send it wherever you want to go while you have it, and then you return it. You know, once we get the self-driving cars, well, that's going to be, you know, massive difference. But yeah, cool. We can talk about that on another video, because that's something I'm really excited about anyway. Now, the next one, before we start it, I will put the disclaimer in, all right? It's quite a dangerous one because, unfortunately, some people aren't disciplined. And if you're not disciplined, I suggest you don't go and do this one. But a lot of places, a lot of betting places will give you the first $20 free, yeah? So to get you on and get you signed up into an account. Now, some of them, you've got to be careful. They'll want you to give $100 and they'll give you $20 free, you know? So you need to look around for these, but some of them you get the first bet free, and it might be $5. You know, a lot of them, the $5 ones. Well, you know, for the 5 minutes or 3 minutes that it takes to sign up, yeah, put the $3 bet on, and who knows, you might win. It might turn into $20. Yeah, and then obviously take that money away. I wouldn't keep betting it. So you've got to be really careful with that one.
It's all about discipline. It's having a game plan, going in, knowing exactly what you're going to do to take advantage of what's being offered for free. So if it means you have to deposit some money first to get the free amount, as long as you don't have to use the money to obtain and use the free amount that's being offered, that's a great return. So if you're putting in £5 and somebody's giving you £5, that's 100% return in minutes. Yeah. And if you do a bet with the money they've given you and it wins, oh my goodness, you take out your original amount and you've made some money. So this obviously comes with caution, but there are ways that you can make money. It's not just on betting. There's lots of things that you go, and you might go to a supermarket and they give you 2 for 1. You buy 2, you get 1 free. So there's lots of things that happen where you get things for free. So I like free stuff. You know, what they say is if it doesn't cost anything, doesn't cost much, can't be dear, right? If it's free, can't be dear. So it's a good way of making your money stretch further.
And to some degree, I mean, you know, there's obviously cautions with the betting one, and I'm not a big fan of betting myself personally. But you can also do it with share accounts. Yeah. So a lot of them, if you set up a share account, they'll give you your first share free, or your first, you know, $5 free, or $10, or whatever it is. So, you know, sometimes you've got to deposit money in there, you know, maybe $100 or something, but they'll give you $20. You know, so all of a sudden, you know, you can put that, you got $120, you know, or they'll make you buy a share with that $20. So you buy shares with that $20, and then potentially, and you got to look at the terms and conditions. Sometimes you got to hold the shares, you know, and that, but potentially you can get 20% return on your $100, which actually, you know, over time. The other thing is, if you're sitting there and you're furloughed and you're not really got a lot to do, actually, this is an interesting way to upskill your skills on shares. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing now. You can do it. I mean, I run a half-day seminar on the personal finance side internally with my team. And, you know, I showed them that within sort of about 5 minutes, using my phone and Revolut, which is a card that I have, I set up a share account and I was able to buy a share. Yeah, within 5 minutes. It was that quick. Yeah. So I did sell it straight again, and I made, I think, 3 cents or something on the whole trade. But that, you know, but it was example. But you know, you can do that. So yeah. Another one, publish a Kindle book. Yeah. Publish a Kindle book, or you know, an ebook. So on Amazon, that sort of stuff. So basically, you know, these sort of ones. Sorry, not Kindle. What am I thinking? Audible. You know, Audible. Sorry, Audible. So, you know, if you've got a book there, you've got something to say, you can write a book. You know, you can charge $1, $2. It's not a huge amount of money, but it's a massive platform whereby, you know, you put a good title, good thing, you know, and you give some value. And actually, it's amazing how many people will buy that.
So I just want to add to that. So there's a saying that goes, every single person has one book in them.
Yeah.
Because every single one of us has a different level of expertise in a certain area that other people would like to hear about. So if you can talk about something that you're really good at, you're really passionate about, there will be people that will want to hear it, see it, and pay for it, even a small amount of money. So every single person has at least one book in them.
Yep. And I think the other thing is, we're not talking about, I mean, you know, you've got the 6 steps of financial freedom. I've got the 3+1 plan, which are, you know, our main books, you know, and they are properly published. You know, they're physical books. You can grab them. You can, you know, do all that. That takes a bit more time. We're not necessarily talking about that. But then I have 25 books that I've written. Well, most of those aren't actually published books. I haven't got around to publishing yet. Some of those are specific subjects, and they might be, you know, 40 or 50 pages long. But somebody who is looking for education on that particular subject, and that's where you want to find a niche. Yeah, it's amazing how you can put that up and people download. I mean, I have my books there, and people will look up, for instance, you know, how to avoid a scam, fraud. You know, that is a particular topic, and it's amazing how many people download that particular book. Yeah, you know. So, sorry,
I'll tell you something quite funny. So, one of these seminars I went to about writing a book.
Yeah.
One of them specifically was about how somebody made $100,000 a year by creating a website linking to how do I write a letter to Santa. That's all it was. So to send a letter to Santa each and every year, and this site is ongoing, made one simple idea of how many people, you think about how many people celebrate Christmas, how many kids are out in the world, they found a niche, a really clever niche, that children can actually write, or parents can write on their behalf, and they get a letter sent out to Santa each and every year, and they get a reply back. How amazing is that? Simple idea.
Yeah. Do you know, one of my mates wrote a book about how to write a resume, and then he got it. He used to be able to advertise on monster.com. This is in Australia. And I remember going to his house, and literally I was there, and every probably 2 or 3 seconds it was ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, what the hell is that noise? And he's like, that's a book sale. He said, every time that goes off, I make $3.50 or whatever it was, you know? And I'm thinking, that's like 10, 20, they're like, I was there for coffee and all I could hear this thing the whole time. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what you can do. Now, he'd set that up right and he was spending money on marketing and doing all that sort of stuff. So he'd done his numbers, but there's huge opportunity out there. And, I know some of these may seem like, wow, that seems pretty hard, or that seems like a lot of work, or I'm against betting. But you know what? There's so many ideas. We're not saying do all these, and we're not saying if you haven't got a book and you don't feel confident doing that, maybe that's not for you. Another one, which might be a bit simpler, mystery shopper. You can go online, you can register as a mystery shopper. If you're going to buy something, then, and you're going to buy it anyway, then you can do it as a mystery shopper and then do a review, and they'll pay you money to review the purchase. Yeah. So it's like as simple as that. And you can get, 20, 30, 40, 50, pounds for doing that, depending on the value of the purchase, obviously. So yeah. One of the other ones that I find, and actually I haven't done this in a long time, but it was interesting. We were just clearing out one of our, we've got a whole room which is just full of stuff. Having had 4 kids, and most of those kids are going through, we've got 9, 7, 5 and 4 now. We're going through all the kids' toys and we're like, actually, you know what? We've got so much stuff here and none of our friends have got kids right now. So what do we do? Well, we're saying maybe what we should do is chuck it on Gumtree, Craigslist, whatever, and just sell it off, So in the end, we're not going to do that. We're actually just going to give it away to charity, because some of the stuff is really good, but it's been through 4 kids, most of it. It's stuff like that. You've probably got old playing cards. You've probably got, who knows, Lego. You've probably got all these things that potentially you could sell and make money from.
I think the message we're trying to convey is that it is good, tough out there, but if you're resourceful, you become creative. There are opportunities. There are ways for you to earn additional bits of income. And if you make it fun, if you make it a game, as I said before, this is something that will propel you to actually start moving forward with all these different areas.
100%. And, it's interesting too. We just did a process with the kids where, they have so many toys. And we're just like, right, pick your top 20 toys, and the stuff that you just haven't played with and you're never going to play with, how about we effectively put it in bags and we go and donate it to, Arlene has some access to various, underprivileged charities and things like that. And so we're going to give it to those. I mean, I think, to be fair, I think they're still downstairs. But the kids, because we went through the whole process and we involved the kids, they had so much fun doing it. And actually, it's teaching them valuable lessons at the same time. I mean, it's not making us money, but in your case, you may be, you can sell it, and make money. That's no problem. But yeah, surveys. I'll let you deal with those.
Yeah, so this is something I've been doing for quite some time. I get asked to do surveys on a regular basis. Based on the different businesses that I have, I get these surveys on a regular basis, and they can vary anything from £40 to £300. So often online, or I have to, at the moment I can't go in to do the survey, so they do them online. You get the same thing. It's actually quicker, less transport. And if you register for as many different surveys that you can based on the products and services that you use and the business that you're in, you'll be surprised. 1 or 2 of these are going to start dropping in every month for you to do, anywhere from £40 to £100. And they're fun to do. They really are a lot of fun to do. You get to learn about other products and services. You get to learn what other companies are planning to do in the future that might give you the heads up on what you should be doing for the future as well. So that's one of the great things. So surveys are amazing, lots of different surveys. You can do from Survey Monkeys, where people ask you information, or to do proper products and services for big companies, Volkswagens, Rolls-Royce, Virgin, BA, any sort of company, you name it, they're going to have surveys that want to have market research from your customer experience. What do you think about their new products and services they're thinking about bringing to the market? So yeah, it's a great one to do.
Yeah, and look, I mean, you mentioned too about the focus groups too, which, is another aspect of the surveys, effectively, where you go in and they'll ask you questions and they'll, check your demographics and your psychographics and all that sort of stuff. But it's interesting with that one. When Immanuel said this one, I was kind of like, yeah, that's not me. I'm not one of those guys that I can sit there and do surveys. It just, I won't say it shits me to tears, but it does. So, but interesting. The next one, which is something I'm really interested in. You know, I've always been a wheeler and dealer. You know, my father was like that. I grew up, you know, learning that sort of stuff. But, you know, buying something on, say, eBay, and then, or maybe at a car boot sale, and then selling it on Gumtree or Craigslist or on Amazon, you know, huge opportunity, you know, because a lot of those things, well, it might be the stuff that was in my cupboard that I'm putting onto eBay just to get rid of it, you know, and I'm willing to take $3 for something that I can resell for, you know, $20, you know, because a lot of people, you know, it may retail at $40. I've forgotten how much I paid for it. You know, I'm just trying to get rid of it, you know, so there's huge opportunity there. You know, I think it's interesting. I watch Gary Vee. Gary Vee, you know, very successful businessman, very successful on the social media. One of the things he does every Saturday, you know, he does car boot Saturdays or whatever it is. Or was it Sundays? Saturdays. I think it is Saturdays. You know, he takes his kids along and he does deals and he resells them. And, you know, there's so many ways to make money like that. Yeah. The challenge. Sorry,
he also talks about doing what we would call arbitrage. You look at eBay, you look at Amazon for the same product. If there's a price difference between the two, you buy from one and sell on the other, or vice versa. Clever concept. You know, there are different price disparities. You know, if you walk down the corner shop between Asda and Tesco's, there's always a price difference between all of these different products and services. Buy it cheaper, sell it a little bit higher.
Yeah. And you know, I've got mates that do, they do, I mean, the next level up, which is they'll go to China, they'll go to Alibaba and things like that, and they'll buy bulk, they'll import it, and then they'll go round to retail places and sell it off, you know? So I've got that, you know, in fact, one of my best mates, he actually goes, he teaches people on Amazon how to do the whole process from China, send to the US market in Amazon, and how to market on Amazon. You know, I mean, that's a huge marketplace, you know, so there's massive opportunity that you can do. I mean, one of the other ones that we've got here, you know, get a part-time job, you know, delivering pizzas, stacking shelves, whatever it is, you know.
I'm just
so
doing a webinar with
so much opportunity.
In a couple of minutes.
So yeah, but look, you know, with that side of things, part-time job.
Yeah, I know it went longer than it should have done. I'll be finished in a few minutes. Okay. Cheers. I will. Okay. Bye.
Just we'll start again from part-time job because I'll be able to cut that out.
Okay. Real.
Yeah. Cool. So, you know, another thing is, you know, get a part-time job, you know, whether it be delivering pizzas, stacking shelves, you know, whatever it is to bring some extra cash in, you know, it might be working at McDonald's, you know, there's huge things. I mean, when I was a kid, you know, I think from the time I was like, I think we had to be 15 before we could start working. But, you know, from 15 on, I always had 2 or 3 jobs on the go, whether it be Sunday working at the food store, whether it be, you know, working at McDonald's, Big Rooster, you know, all that sort of stuff. Because for me, you know, having that multiple streams of income meant that I could work enough to actually have quite a good lifestyle, even at that age, you know, and it meant mum and dad didn't have to. I mean, I had a bike, so I was able to ride my bike. Australia was safe enough to do that, you know, and I loved it because of the fitness element too. But, you know, so that sort of getting a part-time job, you know, just because if your full-time job is furloughed, you know, go out there. There's plenty of opportunities, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely opportunities, and you know, the more creative you become, the more you'll actually start seeing. You know, your brain works around things that are important to you. So you start putting yourself, asking the questions. Things start coming to you on a regular basis. This reminds me of when I grew up with my parents. Both my parents had, you know, multiple jobs to try and make ends meet. We're just going around full circle at the moment. Now it's creating this ability to think more, just expand your thought process of where are the opportunities, what else can I do? There are going to be people that can't get out their houses. What can you do to actually help them? You know, Uber drivers are just picking up shopping and taking stuff without anybody in their cars. People are becoming more creative of how they can earn money. It's called a hustle. You know, you've got to start hustling now. Where have I got a hustle? Where can I do? What can I offer? What product, services? What value can I add right now to help other people? Supermarkets want you to stock their supermarkets 24/7. So not only do you get a job, But if you're doing the heavy stuff, you're getting a workout at the same time, which is, you know, what we talked about earlier. So you get two for the price of one.
Yeah. And even like, you know, you watch out in the news, like Amazon, I'm not sure if this was UK or US, but they basically said they need 12,000 new people working in their fulfillment stuff, because obviously everyone's furloughed, people are ordering more online, and so they need people to deliver that stuff. You know, they need people to pack that stuff in a, you know, so there's, you know, massive opportunity there. You know, so you can listen to those things and go, you know what, maybe I go onto the Amazon website or track down, you know, where that recruitment is, and I go get a job. You know, I mean, the amazing thing about Amazon is they've got warehouse space all around the UK, you know, where they're, you know, packing and sending stuff out, you know, because they're obviously, where they're going to is having this, you know, drone delivery and hour, you know, under an hour delivery, those sort of things. So they've got huge amounts of warehouse space, which is potentially job opportunities. I know a lot of it is automated, but there's still plenty of jobs for humans too.
Yeah, they're offering some really great rates right now. You know, in addition to what they're paying you, which is around about £130 a day after all costs, you're actually providing a service to the community. You're helping people that can't go out. You're delivering it to them. You don't even have to go into the house. You literally leave it at the door. Everything's done, you know, social distancing right now. You're getting paid. You're out in the sunshine as it is right now, but you're getting fit. You're going from one place to another. You're getting out and you're offering a real service and getting paid for it. So there are many opportunities like that. And again, what we're trying to do is create the ability for you to start thinking outside of the box and say, where else can I offer my product, my service, my knowledge, my intellect, and get paid for that?
Yeah, and you know, depending on how much you've got to replace, the income you might have to replace, or the target you've got, the goal you've got, you know, depends on what you might have to do. It may be you just do a couple of, you know, 3 or 4 surveys a week, you know, and that gets you your extra $50, which is your drinking money for when the pub's open again. You know, or it might be something more substantial, like a part-time job where you work, you know, 3 nights a week, and that gets you enough to do what you need to do to save up for that holiday maybe, or, you know, whatever that goal is. If you set the goal up front, you then work out what you need to do it, and then work out whether it's got to be something that is more of a short-term thing, like maybe surveys, or something more substantial where you think, you know what, no, I want to become a delivery driver because I actually want to get out of the career I'm in, and I like the freedom of being able to work when I want as a, you know, Uber driver or whatever, you know. You know, whatever matches you, you know, there's, and mind you, you know, we could go on all night. There's hundreds of ideas, you know, and if you're not sure, type into Google how to make money, you know, quickly, or how to make more money, or how to add $100 to your income. I mean, there's so many articles about so many ideas, you know, you can jump on, and a lot of them have links to websites where you can go and register to do this, or you can, you know, do those sort of things like the surveys or whatever. You know, it's actually out there.
What was going to add, if somebody's come up or found a really great way to earn some additional income quickly, maybe they can share it in the comments below. We'll pick it up and do our own research on it and give that information back to people so more people can benefit from what they've found.
Yeah, 100%, you know. I think, you know, you've just got to get creative. You've got to make the decision that, you know what, I mean, I think that the problem is if you, and this goes going forward now, if at any stage in your career, yeah, the, you know, S hits the fan, then you need to pivot. You need to think about what's my, you know, second option? What's my game plan from here? What's my exit strategy? And that may mean you've got to pivot and do something totally different. You've got to get creative. You've got to find a solution because, you know, don't rely on the government. I mean, this time with the UK government, you know, furloughing and the stimulus package they've done, fantastic, you know, response. But don't rely on that. And what I would say is they've been great doing that, but don't become dependent upon it. You know,
yeah.
If you're relying totally on that, then you need to get out and do some of these things.
Yeah, I think it's really important. This has shown that you can't really rely on one source of income. You've got to have multiple sources of income, and we're going to talk about this in sort of future sort of talks that we have. But having multiple streams of income is going to be really important going forward. This has just shown that if you have one source of income, you're in a very precarious position. So you want to have as many of these possible. So if any one of them isn't working at a time, you've got 2 or 3 others that are bringing in income at the same time.
Yep. But I would say this too, just to qualify that doesn't mean that if you're starting out from scratch right now, you should do 10 different things. What I would say is if you're starting out from scratch, focus on one thing, get that stream of income working, secure, and then look to add another. And then potentially look another. And what you can do too, I mean, like in my own situation, I've got a sales business that starts at zero every month. Yeah. But I've got another business which every month starts at whatever it starts at, a couple of 100,000 or whatever it is, because the money's already there, and I know at the first of the month the money's already there. So I have different streams of income, and then I have not only that, I have money from Australia, I have money from the UK, I have money from Singapore. So I've got different geographics. So if UK is in recession, then I can look to my Australian to supplement it, or my Singapore to supplement it. And hopefully the whole world doesn't go into recession. And, but that's when you understand I've been doing that, and I've built that up over the last 15, 16 years now. So don't think that because I say that, and I know Immanuel's in the same situation where he's got multiple streams of income too. We've also got property portfolios and things like that. That doesn't happen overnight. And you know what? I didn't start, for instance, my property management business until probably 5 years into my sales business, so that's where you've got to be really careful. And you don't want to just focus on everything, because what you'll get is nothing. You want to focus on one, get that right, then you build to the next, then you build to the next.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hopefully these things today have given you some, got the creative juices flowing. So, yeah. I think that's it for me. What about you, mate?
Yeah, that's it for me. Hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah.
It's the long weekend, so I hope you enjoy it. I hope the sun's good. Refresh your batteries, and I'll catch you next week.
Yeah, and so guys, next week on next Tuesday's one, we're actually covering how to split up your income to best effectively save, invest, and live. And we're going to look at the ratios that you can use and how some successful people talk about it. Okay, so we'll talk about Immanuel's wealth wheel, my ratios of life, and then we'll talk about Jim Rohan's, T. Harv Eker, a number of different people and how they suggest you break up your income to be successful financially. So I think that'll be really good. All right, we'll see you on Tuesday.
Take care.
Awesome. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Cool.
Cool.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, mate. I've got a couple of I need to get on.